Easy money. New PR. 135, 531, 531, 531. Not 135. If I was dyslexic, this would be 531 pounds. But I'm not. How many of y'all ever been to the mighty IAG, the original Iron Addicts gym? Comment down below. And if you want to come to the mighty IAG, to Iron Addicts gym, let me know. I'm feeling generous today. I might fly somebody out here. But you got to do something for me. Keep listening and watching the video to find out how you can win a trip out here. So when I say being strong is a decision, it is. There's studies about hormones, right? That's something that's physiological, it's in your body. All right, remember I just told you guys that you have to pay attention to this video in order to get the instructions on how I'm gonna select you, how you could be in the pool of people that I'm gonna select to bring out here to California, all right? So here's the rules. Listen to the entire video. I'm gonna give you 3 hints on how to be presented to me for me to choose you, okay? Pay attention, you don't know where it's gonna be. You can scroll to the end all you want. That's not it, because it's 3 of them, all right? So let's see if you can get it. A lot of us are concerned with our testosterone levels and all of that stuff, right? So they did these studies to show how people can temporarily boost their testosterone at certain times. And they talked about, they have people like going into a job interview, right? Typically people sit worried in a waiting room, slouched down, concerned, nervous, and all of that stuff, right? But they said, this study showed that you are inhibiting your testosterone, and testosterone is a hormone that it might show some confidence. With confidence, you appear to have competence that can help you get that job, right? So I'm not saying going in there being some fucking tough guy asshole. Don't get it twisted. That's not what I'm saying, but it just helps, right? So they said that the best thing to do, and they measured test levels. You go into, let's say you have a job interview. They said, go into a bathroom in a mirror and like do like things like this, like yes, I won, I'm mighty and powerful, whatever. It sounds crazy, but think about this. In nature, other bipedal hominids like us, or primates, in times of like some kind of success, they raise their hand in celebration, like yes, like this is powerful, it's a big, you're making yourself big and mighty, right? That boosts your test level. It may not be by a lot, but it does. When you're stressed and sad and depressed, you're suppressing test levels. It makes sense, y'all, if you really think about it, like common sense. There's a TED Talks that talked about it. That's why I observed this information. That I'll link it down below, but it's really interesting. It's something to think about. So that's why I talk to myself sometimes when I'm training, right? Because the mind is that fucking powerful. I'm like, this shit's fucking easy. I psych myself out. It's fucking easy. You have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. The subconscious mind doesn't differentiate truth from false. It just takes what you consciously put into it and try to make it a reality, right? So there are instances, documented instances when, like say a woman have either wanted to be pregnant so bad or lied about her being pregnant so much, and it became real in her subconscious mind and she had prenatal symptoms without being pregnant. That's crazy. That's how powerful the mind is, the subconscious mind. So y'all can apply that when it comes to lifting weights. All right? You just tell yourself that it's easy. It's fucking easy. Shit is light. Don't doubt yourself. Let's say like a leader, a general. Are you gonna follow a general that's not confident? No. If a person is doubting themselves, why would anybody have any confidence in that person? They wouldn't. So think about that, y'all. Don't doubt yourself. Make your movements bold. Walk into action boldly. Vet it out first. Don't just go and do some shit that you are not qualified to do. Qualify yourself for those positions or situations that I'm talking about, that we're talking about. And if you're confident in your training, your qualifications, go into that shit like you own it, like you're supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to be here. This is the Valley of the Beast. Motherfuckers don't come up in here without being confident. Because you will get humiliated. We will talk shit.
Just like old times. Hit that shit. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Everything. Right here. Right now. On this motherfucking floor.
You don't want to let him down, or you don't want him to call you a bitch.
Back home. Yeah. Fight that motherfucking shit. That's my boy.
I just watched the movie. Shout out to Casey Neistat. He told me about his movie, Outpost. Phenomenal movie. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. In the early 2000s, a battle in Afghanistan. This was the only time in history that there were 2 Medal of Honors given in one battle to 2 living veterans. And I salute them. Those are heroes. But anyway, it was one scene when shit got real crazy. The Taliban attacked them in this valley, and they're scrambling, getting everything together, getting their munitions to go and handle their business. There was a dude in there shook with his gun, but he was like hiding inside, shook. He's a bitch. And the guys that saw him recognized that, but that man was worse than anybody seeing him. Let's say nobody's seen him. He knows in his heart that he's a bitch. He knows in his heart that he didn't step up when it was time to step up to do the right thing. Don't step into something that you ain't competent or qualified or confident at handling, because you're in the way of somebody else that's willing to step in and do that work. Clue number 1, I have a new product. My newest product on the AmbrosiaCollective.com, and that product, it means strong in Espanol. Pause reps, super important, because that's a true measure of you being able to really handle that weight. No momentum, no bounce off the chest. You sit it there at a dead weight, a dead stop, and explode up. All right, when y'all practice this, don't lackadaisically push it up. Push violently, push forcefully, explode. Imagine you pushing that bar up through the roof. But you gotta practice in your warm-ups with just the bar as well. Do it hard, all right? I'm trying to etch that in y'all brains. The way to execute perfectly is to practice perfectly. You practice when there's not weight on the bar or very little weight on the bar, because you will play the way that you practice. So pause reps is essential. All right, next we're gonna move to an accessory movement. I hardly ever show y'all that because I think it's boring, but we're gonna do some flies. You still get some strength work, but flies help shape your chest too. I get a really good pump from flies. I get more of a pump from flies than actually bench pressing. In the Colossus program, I give y'all everything to do, because especially when you're new or you're young, you want to do everything for each body part, okay? So that's my foundation, just doing everything. That is the way to develop real strength. You develop a real solid foundation, a real base, and not just kind of getting cut up, a little bit of a pump, but you don't have a real base, a real foundation. People who don't have a real base, a real foundation, if they don't lift weights for 2 weeks, it looks like they never lifted weights before. The longest I ever went without lifting is 3 months. 3 months, nada. And that was because I was preparing for a fight. It looked fine. A little smaller, but all my muscle was still there, because I built a real solid foundation. That's what I want y'all to do. And I'm providing y'all the tools to do that. So the Colossus program is the foundation. It has everything in it. Clue number 2, you need 2 bottles of this new product of mine on theambrosiacollective.com. I'm mad that I didn't bring my Hydrate with me. That's a product that we carry as well from True Supplements, Hydrate. Because look, I learned this the hard way. Just drinking a bunch of water does not hydrate you. It actually strips your body of certain minerals that you need. So this happened to me before. I was training hard, hot, sweaty gym like this. We was in Metroflex, and CT, everybody had to rush me to the hospital because my whole body seized up. So when I got there, they had a hard time finding a vein, and I'm always veiny, but I was so dehydrated. I said, but I drink a lot of water, my urine's clear. They said it's not supposed to be clear. They said that it should have a hint of yellow. When it's clear, you stripped your body of everything, sodium, potassium, all of those things. And people take certain things and think that it's bad. They think sodium is bad. They think cholesterol is bad. All of these things are really good for you and essential. You need it. However, when you're obese, everything is bad for you. So you don't want to get there. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to overeat. You don't want to be overweight. You don't want to be obese. Because then, yeah, everything is bad for you. Clue number 3, the final clue. You need 2 of those products that I just told you about. 1 and 2. It's the same thing, 2 of them. But I'm going to give you a discount on them. All right, I'm going to hook you up. But the code and how I'm going to find you is only people who use this code. You have to use the name of the product. That is the name of the code. All right, I'm going to give you one more hint on what it's called. It's the name of my YouTube channel. But take the people off. That's so easy, all right? Egg yolk is bad, cholesterol is bad, and egg yolk, to keep it 100, people cut out the egg yolk. The egg yolk is the best part of the egg. The egg yolk is super dense with nutrition, with nutrients. The yolk is like a step away from the shell. It's kind of the garbage of the egg to protect the most important part, the yolk. That's where all of the good nutrition is at. But if you're obese, you can't have that kind of stuff. So we want to work on our nutrition. We have to focus on not just how our bodies look. We have to focus on our actual health. That's why I'm so proud of what we do with Ambrosia. None of our products have anything to do with how you look. It is all internal health. Brain health, vision, circadian rhythm, your sleep, organ support, things of that nature. That's what we specialize in because that is most important. It would be very irresponsible of me. Now, the beginning of my career was straight, hardcore, fat burners, pre-workouts, things of that nature, which is cool to an extent, okay? It would be very irresponsible of me had I kept going that route. As I got older and matured and evolved and learned, I learned that this stuff is not the most healthy. I'm not saying it's bad for you, but it can be bad. But it wasn't the most healthy. And I wanted to focus on the most healthy stuff. I learned through trial and error. I learned from when I was at my heaviest, 250 pounds, getting blood work done that, yo, you're not healthy, bruh. You might look kind of muscular, but insides, you're not healthy. 250 pounds is 250 pounds. I don't care how much muscle you got. So that's when I lost all of that weight. I started my intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, and I started focusing on my actual organs and internal health. Start getting blood work done on a regular, twice a year, regular checkups 4 times a year. You know, these things are very important, and you won't know when you realize that something is really fucked up, really bad, is when it gets chronic. You have severe pain or some kind of major issue that you're like, doc, what's wrong? And then it's something most things are reversible, but it's hard when you get to that point. That's why you want to be preemptive and go get checked out before you're in pain. I don't care how healthy you think you are, just go and get the data. Get the data. You check your bank account every day probably. Why would you not check your health? At least a couple times a year. I mean, come on. That's way more important than your bank account, because if you're dead, somebody else getting that money, right? So anyway, that's very important, y'all. I talk to people all the time, and I think people are embarrassed when they don't get their blood work done or get checked, because I ask people all the time. I'd be like, well, let me see, like, you got it on your phone? They'd be like, oh no, it's at home. But no, when you getting your blood work done, you get an email, a PDF, so you can have it. Don't be embarrassed if you haven't done it. Just do it. Just start. Now you know. So you gotta start. You gotta start doing it. I'm talking to you, T. I tell T all the time, Uncle T holding the camera, get your blood work done, bruh. You know, you might not be, everything might be fine, or shit might be off, but you won't know unless you get checked. I'm saying it to all y'all. You too, Jessica. God damn it. I want to pick out of that group, and I'm going to fly you out here to California, first class. You're going to train with me right here at the mighty IAG, Long Beach. All right? Iron Addicts. See y'all soon. Let's get it.